YouTube? This is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got another great video for you guys. This is all about redraft at this moment, right? We are about 3 to 4 weeks from the start of football season. We've got preseason starting. We had a game last week. We've obviously got a lot of games this week. So I wanted to make sure you guys are prepared for your upcoming drafts. Again, this is for redraft PPR. So I'm going to keep it simple. We've got 18 picks we're going to go through here. So I'm going to do a mock draft for every spot in a 12-man league, starting with the first spot today. So make sure you guys are paying attention. If you guys do need some help or have other questions about who you should be drafting, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and the notification bell is on. Also, check out our other videos. We've got some ranking videos. We'll be dropping some sleepers we've already dropped, and of course, players that I'm looking to avoid this upcoming redraft season. So let's get right into this. So we are going to start off, again, this is the first pick overall. So this is PPR, first pick overall. We are absolutely going to start off with, I would say, a simple pick, right? It's Jonathan Taylor being the number one guy, right? So I'm going to talk about my draft strategy. Typically, my draft strategy is running back heavy in the first couple rounds to maybe even the third round, depending on what falls to you. And as you see in this draft, a lot of the players are doing the same exact thing as they're starting to go into, obviously, the first, I would say, running backs, probably about 5 to 6 in the first, 5 to 6 picks. So as you can see here, you'll see some tight ends at the beginning of the second round. That's actually pretty popular. Josh Allen, I'm starting to see here. I've seen Josh Allen fall into the third. I am not a quarterback guy that's going to go crazy until probably the end. But looking at this, you see all running backs are pretty much gone. They're, almost depleted as far as your top running backs go. And if you look at what we have left, you've got Barkley, Fournette, Ezekiel, right? So you've got obviously some decent players, but nothing super crazy. So the pick one is a really tough one when it comes to anything running back situated. So now you're looking at, okay, what can I get in the first pick right here? So for me, I'm looking at options, right? What can I do at this one? For me, I'm going to go Kyle Pitts, and then I'm going to go DEEBO. So these are two of the players that I'm going to look at. Some good PPR reception players are going to be DEEBO, who's going to get rushing, receiving. Kyle Pitts, who's going to be target heavy in this Atlanta Falcons offense, especially with a new quarterback like Mariota. And now you're starting to see some of the quarterbacks again. Justin Herbert, Mahomes, things like that starting to fall in there. And of course, the rest of the tight ends, where really the top tier tight ends are falling there. Now, round 4 to 6 is where people call this the running back dead zone. And I understand why, because you look at the running back options here, it's pretty dead, right? You're not going crazy for it. Now, for me, Etienne falling in the 4th round, I actually will grab that just because you got a running back that is probably going to be utilized pretty heavily in Jacksonville, especially since you're not really sure what's going to happen with James Robinson still. And so even though Doug Peterson is more of a pass-heavy type of head coach and offense, they're still going to use him, whether it be in the passing or, of course, obviously rushing. So I do like him here. I'm actually going to go Courtland Sutton over Jerry Jeudy, or even a quarterback in this position, because again, I want to solidify my receivers. Courtland Sutton, I believe, is going to be an amazing receiver this year. A lot of people are kind of sleeping on him. They don't give him enough value, and I'm okay with that. I'll take him in the 5th round every single time. That is great value there. Now, when you start seeing the swing around in the 6th, again, this is running back dead zone. A lot of what you're going to see are tight ends and receivers going in there. You're seeing some quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Hurts. I have my eyes on a particular quarterback that I feel can still fall to me, probably in the 8th or 9th round. If not, then obviously we'll talk about some other options. Now, you look at what we have left. You have AMON-RA, you got Damien Harris, Hopkins, obviously dealing with a suspension and redraft that can make or break your season. Then you look at Russell Wilson, Bateman. Nothing super crazy here. Here's the problem. At 1, sometimes you got to reach a little bit just to get the guy that you really want. So I've got to fill, obviously, a wide receiver, flex, kicker, defense. I still got quarterback, and then, of course, building out my depth. So I'm looking at my depth here. I'm not crazy about Damien Harris here. I'm not super crazy about Kenneth Walker, even though I like Kenneth Walker a lot. And then you look at, obviously, Bateman's going to get a lot. Amon. Again, I like what he was able to do for Detroit. I'm going to have to go his route just because, but I'm not crazy about AMON-RA this early. He's more of those guys that I'm taking a little bit later. Now, of course, on the swing around, you're going to look, okay, well, what can I get here? Now, you look at it, most of the quarterbacks are taken. There's one team here, 2 teams here that have not taken quarterbacks, and another one here. So there are some risks by not taking a quarterback here, and I'm going to do it because, again, I'll talk about the value. Now for me, I'm going to go in this route. I'm going to take Kenneth Walker. It's going to be one of those things that here's my deal with Kenneth Walker. If Penny stays healthy, Walker will be okay. He's not going to wow you in fantasy, and I understand that going into it. And you don't ever want to wish someone being hurt, but if Penny does get hurt, Kenneth Walker is going to now obviously be a low-end RB2, maybe a good flex running back for you, so I don't mind the pick here. Now, for me, I'm going to lock him up with his handcuff. I hate to say handcuff, but Penny here, just because you have one or the other, going to help you out here. Now, I am going to go quarterback in this position just because you look at the options here. I'm going to actually go Derek Carr over Matthew Stafford, and a lot of people are going to give me crazy eyes for that. But I like Derek Carr's options this year. I like what he's been able to do in fantasy. The elbow thing worries me a little bit with Matthew Stafford of what you've been hearing in minicamp. I'm not too worried. They're going to obviously make sure he's taken care of before the season starts. He's probably not even going to play most snaps. He might play 1 or 2 series in preseason. They're going to really make sure he's healthy. Then you look at the rest of this. This is now we're filling out depth. You don't need to go kicker or defense in here. For me, actually, I go kicker and defense towards the end. If you are obviously an individual defensive player type of draft, you probably would have been picking some linebackers or defensive backs in this particular spot between 7th and 9th round, but I'm not going to do that here. Now I'm looking at, again, filling out depth. For me, Dameon Pierce is somebody I'm absolutely going, again, this is somebody that's been talked up heavily for the Texans, where he may end up winning the number 1 job for, obviously the Texans. And another person I'm going to pick up here, and this is where some people have the strategy, I'm going to get my handcuff to Jonathan Taylor and NYHEIM. So now I've got 2 starting running backs from Seattle and Indianapolis, and then of course I'm going to have their handcuffs as well. A lot of people hate that strategy because you get a little bit running back heavy, but running back is one of those hot commodities you've got to take advantage of, just because, again, you don't know what's going to happen. These guys are absolutely brutally hit every single time, so you got to make sure they're taken care of. Now you're looking at what's left over. Again, this is where you're starting to see some defensive players going, some kickers starting to go. You look at where the rankings are based off of sleeper here, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. And again, if you look at what's available, I do need some receivers. I like JAKOBI Meyers here. I think he's going to be a really good option for you. And if you look at backup tight ends, you've got Higbee, you've got Njoku, who are some good options. And then you could even go backup quarterback. Some people like getting a backup quarterback. Again, you can waiver wire pick up quarterbacks throughout the season, obviously pending that your quarterback doesn't get hurt. So I'm going to fill out at wide receiver again, just because of what's going on with my running back situation. I'm pretty full. So for me, I actually like ALEC Pierce here because, again, ALEC Pierce is going to be probably the wide receiver 2 for Indianapolis Colts. And you've got Matt Ryan there, who's going to absolutely spread the ball. Here's the only downside when you look at this roster. And of course, we're not talking bye weeks, but when you start looking bye weeks, I've got Jonathan Taylor, Pierce. You've got obviously HINES. You got to think about bye weeks as well when you do these drafts. This one's just kind of an example of what players you should be going after in these. So I'm not going to go too in depth in the bye weeks, but that is something you've got to consider when you start looking. Because if you look at my running backs, you start looking at bye weeks, you can get a little bit concerned. For me, I'm not going to be overly concerned, but it is something to think about. Now I'm going to go backup quarterback here. I like Jameis Winston. Again, not my normal draft strategy. My normal draft strategy is you can get a quarterback through waivers. This is something I talk about in almost all my videos, but I don't mind taking him here. Another guy who I like a lot is Jalen Tolbert, going in for, obviously, the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of injuries going on with Dallas, especially with Gallup coming into the season on, injured pup right now. You've got, obviously, Amari Cooper gone. Then, unfortunately, Dallas Cowboys lost James Washington, which is a worry. So Tolbert's going to be really the slot guy, probably the 3rd or 4th target, probably most likely the 3rd target behind, obviously, CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz. So that is something you've got to consider and really think about. Now, you look at my roster, I've got 3 spots left. So you got to obviously go kicker, running back, things like that. So I'm going to go actually with a backup tight end just in case some injuries happen. I love Evan Engram here in the 16th round because I think Evan Ingram's going to be a beast this season with that offensive that he's on. Now I'm going to go fill out with kicker and defense. For me, I'm going to go defense. I'm going to actually go after the Denver Broncos. I like the options that they have. Their defense is actually really solid. I like the weapons. The Broncos are going to be a really good team as defensively and then overall in general. Then the last pick, Mr. Irrelevant. I've got to get a kicker in here, which obviously you got to draft a kicker. It's funny, I see people don't draft kickers, but then you still got to drop somebody to pick them up. So just take your kicker. And you got some couple options here. You got Gold, you got Lutz, you got, you know, Tyler. For me, it's got to be Gold just because of his capability in that offense. I like San Francisco's offense. So those are my first overall pick in a 12-man league. Again, PPR. This is my team here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think I should have gone different routes? Do you agree that Jonathan Taylor should be the number 1 overall pick? Do you go 0 running back? I've seen a lot of people go 0 running back. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys do and what you guys believe in. Because again, a lot of times people have their different ways of doing their draft. But again, let me know down below if you guys agree with it. Do you like a Derek Carr late in the draft? Again, who are your sleepers? Make sure you check out our sleepers and rankings as well to help you guys out. So hopefully this kind of helped you out. We will be dropping a particular video for every single pick. And again, my strategy, I'll be dropping some videos as far as some good draft strategies. And I'll even be doing the 0 running back strategy that I've seen becoming more and more popular. So make sure you check that out. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button as well while you're here. And of course, if you guys are interested in some daily fantasy sports or any other new sports league, again, check out my link down below. We have partnered with Fantasia Sports. These guys are awesome. This is a new way to really get you into the fantasy world in a different light. The app is amazing. The notifications are smooth. It just looks graphically one of the best apps I've played around with. And again, we are partners, so make sure you hit the link down below. It greatly helps us out, and again, helps them out as well. Again, check out the mock drafts, check out our rankings, check out our sleepers, and I'll check you guys next time.